I wonder what this could mean. Are you fucking serious?
Hello, Richard.
Ah! Oh, Zumpano. What are you doing here?
I just stopped by to see what you're doing. So, what are you doing?
Currently, I am actually going to be doing a commentary. Do you want to join in?
Sure. On who?
Pretty much Bailey.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the awful recolor artist who made a commentary on GameSpot's Sonic's Lost World review?
Yep.
And you're doing a commentary on his commentary, on Ryan's commentary, on Flippy's commentary, on victim blaming?
Yep.
Well, this is gonna be fun.
Little dysfunctional, don't you know? If you push me, it might be bad. Get a little emotional, don't you know? If you fool around and make me mad, I'm a little dysfunctional, don't you know?
By the way, this is just a quick of a disclaimer. This commentary is gonna be serious, and we're gonna try our best to put in some jokes, but most of the time, this commentary is actually going to be a serious commentary. So, yeah. Let's start the video.
You didn't want your photos stolen. You shouldn't have taken them. What was she thinking going out dressed like that? She could have left, but she didn't. It's her own fault she has a black eye now. I mean, let's be honest. She was kind of asking for it, getting that drunk. Whoa! Hold up just a hot minute. What are you even saying right now?
They're saying logic. You should try it sometime.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I thought this was a commentary on Ryan Reynolds Mills and not on Lacey Green. How about you either A, put in a disclaimer, or B, not commentate on Lacey in general?
Yeah, you just heard that. I didn't edit any of that. None of that was cut. That is exactly what he just said, and that is freaking bullcrap, and I'm going to explain why that's bullcrap. First point. Your point that if a celebrity takes nude pictures, then they are asking for it to get hacked and leaked online.
For starters, saying someone is asking for it is hyperbole. The very definition of rape is unlawful sexual intercourse without consent of the victim. Nobody is literally asking to get raped, have their photos stolen, or anything else. However, as I'll explain in a little while, there are ways you can lessen the risk without hurting your experience. So the reason why that term is used is because apparently there's an inescapable draw towards the more dangerous actions, and thus the danger itself, even though awareness, or if I were to call it as it is, hysteria, for rape is at an all-time high, but apparently, if you're a female, that gives you the right to not listen to feminists, because they're only for bossing the men around, not the ignorant all around.
So, in the too long didn't read definition, they're asking for it. Good job, good job.
A person takes nude pictures of themselves, and then somebody hacks into their phone, which is illegal.
And they got the consequences for their actions. Remember that guy who leaked those celebrity nudes 3 years ago? He got 10 years jail time. So, if that's not reason enough not to do illegal shit, then I don't know what is.
How exactly does that counterattack his claim? Ryan mentioned that victim blaming is stupid for taking nude pictures of people and saying it's illegal, and yet here you are saying it's illegal. Is this commentary just going to be you recycling the same argument constantly?
Then what you're saying, it shouldn't even matter whose fault it is. The person committed illegal crimes.
This line was worded extremely poorly. If it didn't matter whose fault it was, that would just make it nothing more than annoying shit you shouldn't have to deal with. Sound familiar? Nah, not at all like that 2.5 minute intro, or your endless commercial rage afterwards. Speaking of which, if it didn't matter whose fault it was, why are you getting so worked up here, and yet when the perpetrator gets rightfully blasted for their crimes, you most likely wouldn't bat an eye? But hey, at least the perpetrators aren't being talked about online, because that's so pointless it'll cause the fucking nuclear apocalypse.
Nope. No. Please tell me you didn't compare Ryan's intro to victim blaming. Please fucking tell me right now. Also, comparing the perpetrators being talked about online to an apocalypse is so irrelevant to the topic in hand.
Yeah, all those things that people claim are asking for it are actually rights and freedoms that every human being is entitled to.
Just because you have the freedom to do something doesn't mean you should expect to have no consequences for it. For example, if you wake up one morning and think, today I'm going to start smoking 200 times a day for the next month, just because it's legal, you're still going to cause an addiction. Seriously, safety first.
But it's still not illegal, dumbass! How does this have to do with anything?
Not to mention, we have the freedom to call them out on their bullshit, just as they have the freedom to cause such bullshit. So using the freedom argument is really just null and void. I said earlier that I would explain alternatives you can take to lessen the risk without hurting your experience, and I'll explain that now. Taking nude selfies makes no sense, because those celebrities would most likely have revealing photos taken of them on a day-to-day basis. Being alone in a shady neighborhood at night makes no sense, since you can just not go that way, drive, or bring some friends to protect you. And wearing skin-tight clothing, fucking skin-tight by the way, so it's about as much clothing as paint, makes no sense. Because you can easily just wear something that at least gets air in. Unless, of course, the only reason you wanted to wear it was to appeal to guys. But uh-oh, you appealed to guys, and guys you most likely knew, for fuck's sake. Never saw that one coming, you victimized bitch.
Calling someone a bitch? Yay! Childish insults are wonderful! And what does taking pictures of yourself wearing revealing type of clothing have something to do with them knowing about who the attacker is? Your points are very disorganized, dude.
Even if what you said...
Pointless text is pointless. Mind not doing that again? Thanks.
I know he worded that poorly, but I'm pretty sure he meant that credit cards themselves were mundane, as I said earlier. They may be required, or just beneficial on a day-to-day basis.
The reason these examples make sense is because having a credit card and wearing the scad clothing or taking pictures of yourself like that is all things that you have the freedom to do because it's not illegal.
Actually, nude street walking is illegal, and wearing scad clothing comes pretty close in that regard. So this idea that it's just some really innocent pastime or anything of the sort falls flat.
You have the freedom to wear whatever you want. You can criticize them for wearing it, but it is still their right to wear them.
Sure, it can cause illegal things, but still, even in any case, blaming the victim is stupid! Because like punching someone, and like stealing somebody's credit card, and like anything else, that's freaking illegal!
If people were trialing these victims on the court because of it, then that would be an issue. But as it stands, many victim blamers are either questioning the victim's motives, just choosing not to give sympathy, or giving them advice for it not to happen again. But nope, any negative criticism of a woman must be misogynist, because goddamn if they could handle that they weren't that perfect little snowflake they were raised to believe they were. So, blissful ignorance trumps criticism any day of the fucking week.
Way to strawman Ryan's arguments there. Good job. See ya, Ryan? That's fucking strawman. He was talking about people who use victim blaming, attacking things on the victim. Not that negative criticism of the person's actions meant someone was misogynistic.
I can't even process! Like, okay, I saw your video on M-Skull a couple of years ago. I thought that was dumb, but you were a kid back then, you know what? I was like, okay. And I saw some of your newer videos, and I'm like, okay, you know what? They're mediocre, man. But I see this, and I'm just like, what is your freaking malfunction?
It's something that can occur.
Now, I'm not exactly a master of editing myself, but even I know, hell, even you know, that cutting someone off mid-sentence completely ignores the rest of their point if you skip the rest of it, which you do, and completely disrupts the flow of a commentary.
Stop right there. You are basically the one to fucking talk, dumbass. You complain about Ryan cutting someone off in mid-sentence, and yet you seem to do the same fucking thing.
He basically just continues his point about how these certain things is something we can't control, which, if your credit card being stolen and being punched in the face is something you can't avoid. It's something you can control. Somewhat.
And hell, even Ryan fucking explained it right here, so how about you pay attention next time?
It's almost the exact freaking same as having your freaking pictures on your phone hacked!
Excuse me, when was the last time you walked into a store to get something, and the guy at the counter was all like, if you want to get this thing you need, you have to show me a naked picture of yourself?
That's probably the worst example I've ever heard. What does going to a cell phone store have something to do with the topic at hand?
Skip this segment, I don't...
Okay, enough bad acting. Do you get my drift?
No, I don't, because you haven't given any good reasons as to why victim blaming is bad.
But I sure have, you freaking numbskull!
Number 2, this is how, instead of preventing crime, victim blaming actually invites more crime. Number 3.
Wait a minute, that's it? You're not even gonna explain your second point, you're just gonna move on to number 3? Jesus fuck, I thought feminists were supposed to be informative.
Wow! It only took you the next freaking point to say something dumb again! Well, let me explain to you, you freaking idiot, why it encourages more crime!
Just because it may have been obvious doesn't excuse the fact that she still left that point blank. Leaving badly elaborated points in like this just completely shoot the idea of an informative or educational video in the foot, because not everyone is going to get what you mean. It's one thing not to explain what something is or what something means, because you can just look that up, but it's another thing to not explain your points, because not only will not everyone understand, but it also leaves room for the point to be misinterpreted.
Oh, it's completely obvious and doesn't need a lot of explaining. But she didn't explain at all. Really? Oh my god. Dude. You are an idiot. You seriously are the most stupidest motherfucker I've ever met in my whole entire life. And I've met many stupid motherfuckers.
Do I look at my... Listen to my freaking phone right now. Knocked off my headphones again. Do I look like I care about any of this right now? I mean, I care about your video, but I don't care about what happens after I post this.
Now I know you're siding with the victims who don't care about consequences, to which I respond, your notion will change in due time, my friend, in due time.
You're a bloody moron and you should know that. That's the worst thing I've ever heard. You haven't heard anything from this entire video, did you? Have ya? Yay, audiophile. Make this commentary even more pointless than it already is.
So that's the end. Overall, this video was filled with senseless outrage, and most of your points felt like they were made in the heat of the moment.
Have you not paid attention to the disclaimer, you idiot? The whole entire time, Ryan said he was going to be pissed at the commentary. But nope, you decided not to pay attention like always and act like you know everything, which you don't.
In the end, I could rag on about this video for another good while, but I think I'm going to let the footage speak for itself.
Why? Why?
Oh, and a great montage of Ryan's arguments because, that's why. Ugh. Final thoughts? This is maybe the second to worst commentary I've ever seen. It is redundant, stupid, and flat out horrible. And you either make pointless comments to Ryan, or your points don't make any sense whatsoever. Please, do me a favor and pay freaking attention next time instead of intercepting like a dumbass. Heed the criticism, my fellow idiot. So, what are your final thoughts, Zumpano?
You know what, Richard? No. I ain't got no final thoughts, because after watching this commentary, it made me realize that I have just given up on Fate of Humanity. No, seriously. It did. And, you know what? Fucking, I'm done. I am 100% done, alright? No, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go play some Smash.